The journey to finding a good manga is often akin to the experience of dumpster diving. Just as dumpster divers sift through heaps of trash for the opportunity of uncovering rare or useful items, for manga readers, finding a great manga often means treading through a vast sea of trashy manga before finally finding that diamond in the rough. Trashy isekai, trashy romance, weird psychological stories, even weirder horror stories, and even worse psychological horror stories. Yes, this counts. These are all obstacles a manga reader must face before finally finding a truly great manga. A manga with a one-of-a-kind story that exceeds expectations. A manga with an underlying message that sticks with you for life. Who knows what you can find as, hey, let's not forget, good trash exists too. However, sometimes your expectations can be so low that you may have an experience where you've read a manga that at first glance makes you think, oh man, this is amazing, give me more of this. A manga that you thought had an incredibly intricate narrative lays down a fantastic foundation for further plot progression and just the right mixture of drama, spice, only for you to revisit it 2 years later and go, this shit is so ass. The manga I'm talking about today is called Namae No Nai Kaibutsu. Not to be confused with the Psycho-Pass ending, which unfortunately now has to share the same name with this manga. I actually discovered this in a Discord server a couple years ago because I saw a bunch of people were all reading it, so I was like, why not join in on the fun? Now, what's interesting about this manga is that it actually kind of spoils the entire story for you from the very beginning. We'll get back to why this is important later, because before that we need to talk about the setup for this story. Namae no Nai Kaibutsu Kumo to Shoujo to Ryoki Satsujin follows Reishin Tosaka, your average-looking anime/manga protagonist dude you've seen a million times, whose only personality trait is that he's a depressed uni student. How original. Upon waking up one day, he finds out that oh shit! A spider now lives in his AC unit, so he tries to get rid of it, but Spidey over here simply flexes its Sigma 9000 superiority over Reishin, and it's like, nuh-uh, I ain't leaving, so Reishin's like, whatever, I'll just get used to it. Man, what a pussy. No biggie though, cause Reishin's got more important matters to attend to, cause he's got a date with his girlfriend, Kiyoko. Reishin goes on his aquarium date thinking, damn, I wonder how this lovely girl is my girlfriend. And also, what's that spider's problem? But Kyoko's like, hey, I don't know what you've been up to, but just enjoy the date for now and have fun. Tee. And so after having the time of his life with the girl of his dreams, Reishin goes home the happiest man on earth. Tadaima! I don't know, man. I think it's time to call the exterminator. Anyways, I know it looks bad, but hey, why don't you just sleep and clear your mind? Surely it can't get worse. Who's there? Why is there a girl in my room? And that is how Reishin became a 5-star meal for a spider girl. Also, Kyoko gets NTR'd. Don't worry, because it only goes downhill from here. In the background, there seems to be some sort of serial killer on the loose. Several murder cases start popping up in the news, one being this girl named Yuko. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Anyways, Reishin's now being held hostage by the spider girl in his own apartment. Kiyoko here. I'm coming to your apartment, Rei. Wait, no, there's a creepy spider girl in here. A creepy what? Anyways, I'm in front of your door already. Panic! And then it was bedtime. The next day, he convinces the spider girl to let him go to the supermarket so he doesn't starve to death. And this is where we're introduced to Junya. Listen, man, I'm telling you, if there's one thing you can take away from this manga, it's that y'all gotta get a friend like Junya. Someone who sees you for who you truly are. Someone who will be there for you whenever you're down and help you keep your head up. Junya then takes Reishin to his place for a drink, they have a nice chat, and then just when you think things finally calm down,
The next day.
At uni, Junya explains the whole situation to Kiyoko and then discovers a conveniently placed painting that looks oddly similar to the murder scene he saw last night, drawn by this guy named Toto. Yeah, he doesn't look suspicious at all. Hey Kiyoko, could this possibly be, I don't know, the guy I saw murdered literally just yesterday? Oh, you mean this painting? You guys weren't supposed to find out we murder people for art. I mean, maybe. What do you mean, maybe? It must just be a coincidence. There's no harm in investigating though, right? There was indeed harm in investigating. Junya investigates. Junya gets murdered. Oh my god, Junya's dead. Kiyoko here, again. Oh my god, Reishin, I think I sent Junya to die. Can you go to this address to confront his murderer to be sure? Say no, Reishin. You idiot! I'm the guy who killed Junya. It was me. I did. I killed him and turned him into my new masterpiece. It was beautiful, and now I'll kill you too. Well, joke's on you. I was on a call with Kiyoko the whole time. You're gonna get arrested. No. So that's it, right? It's all over now. Except wait. This still doesn't explain where the spider girl came from. But then just when you think things finally are starting to calm down again, it turns out that Kiyoko was the mastermind the whole time, and she kidnapped Reishin so she can turn him into a painting. Because something art is beautiful and death is also beautiful, so put 2 and 2 together, death equals art. Okay, this is getting really tiring. Spider-Girl then swoops in to save the day with the power of kisses, and Kyoko's like, "Oi, who's this girl? How could you? I thought you loved me." And Reishin's like, "Bitch, you just tried to kill me." Also ignoring the fact that Kiyoko literally says she was having an affair with Toto earlier. Yandere's, am I right? Yeah, good riddance. Alright, first of all, let me address this whole grotesque murder part of the story. This has to be my least favorite part in the manga by far. Because remember the opening of the first chapter that I said we'd get back to later? Well, I'm getting back to it now. At this point, we're 11 chapters in, and none of what was shown here is addressed, nor has there been any build-up leading into that part of the story. Sure, we've learned about the spider monster, but this entire Death Artist arc with Kiyoko and Toto is almost completely irrelevant to the rest of the story. Like, it might as well be filler, and to prove my point, the manga even establishes it in the fucking story that none of the murders they committed were related to Yuko's. You know, the character that should be the main focus of investigation, since she's directly related to the Spider Girl. Although the worst pain point of this entire arc has to be Kiyoko, since she's definitely the worst written character in the entire manga. Spoiler alert, Kiyoko lives anyways, and they give her the opportunity to join with the main antagonist. So what does she do? Absolutely nothing. She doesn't do anything important, and then even after all the trauma she causes for Reishin and the obsession she has with killing him, she's still like, "Oh please, don't forget me, I still love you." Like, what? Let me get this straight. You only started dating him because he looked dead inside, and then hated him when he was happy. Did you never think that you're the reason he's happy? Like, you're delusional! Also, I don't know what happened, but the edginess just seemed to spike completely out of control. It was shocking and unexpected, but ultimately fell flat as this overall setup doesn't do anything to help transition into the next arc of the story. Which is a shame because I actually kind of like some parts in the rest of the manga. Essentially, it returns to your regularly scheduled program of where did that spider come from? Except now that Kyoko's gone, or so he thinks, Reishin can no longer feel bad about NTRing his girlfriend and grows to befriend the Spider Girl. They then team up along with this twink, Louis, to go to the origin of the spider monsters, an abandoned hospital where they were created. Don't get me wrong, it's still extremely edgy. There's a lot of extremely questionable writing too, and the characters are honestly pretty forgettable. But I think at this point, I'm just glad to know we finally got somewhere and that everything the manga promised in the beginning finally comes to fruition. And I mean, there's still some cool scenes like when Reishin finally finds the secret documents to learn about the spider monsters. But man, rereading this manga was just so frustrating because I had no idea how bad it really was. For example, this guy's whole personality is that he wants to R-word this woman, and this woman's entire personality is she got R-worded by that guy. Like, who thought of this? And then Reishin just turns full spider, kicks ass, and then it just ends. Like, what the hell did I just read? Oh, hell yeah. Now I remember why I read it. In the end, I have to say, it is hard for me to recommend a manga like this, and so I implore you, do not read this manga. One, obviously because of the gore content, and if that makes you uncomfortable, you probably shouldn't read this manga. Two, for my arachnophobes watching this, you probably shouldn't read this manga either, even though I think the spiders are actually some of the most well-drawn parts, but that doesn't really help my case, does it? But if you like trashy horror stories, then this should be perfect for you. I first went into this manga thinking it was one of the coolest things ever, but came out more confused than anything, wondering what the hell I just read. Wondering if I missed something that tied the story together, and it was only when I revisited it years later that I realized no, the story just sucks ass. And you know, there's definitely some bias between when I first read it and when I read it now, since I was reading it with a group of people, so we were just having fun. In conclusion, Ration's as bland as cardboard, the story's really confusing, don't stick your pee-pee in crazy, Uncle Daisuke's the best character, and spiders are cooler than you think. The real lesson I want you to take away from this is, sometimes when you dumpster dive, you might find something you think is valuable in the moment, but ends up not being what you actually wished it to be. That's the case for me with Namae No Nai Kaibutsu, a manga I thought I enjoyed, but upon further inspection, turned out to just be slop. So yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one, where hopefully I can talk about something good.